Anthony, we'll start with you. What to you is a successful season for Nolan McLean?
Well, Niki, with all the talent that this guy has, the ceiling is insanely high. I mean, it could go anywhere and above that, too. In preparation for this, I was looking at some of the projections from some of the projection systems out there, and I'm not so sure that if you haven't seen him, Met fans, that you would be very happy about what they've got him pegged to, between like 140 and 150 innings, 10-8 record. I know that isn't as meaningful as it maybe once was, and like a 3.70 ERA. I think he's going to exceed those numbers. The one pause I have is the innings. I would even be okay if he were to throw as few as 120 innings, Niki, if they were the high-level kind of innings that we saw him throw last year when he was incredibly impressive. I think if you're thinking that he's going to be a 200-inning monster right out of the gate in his second taste of the majors, I'm not sure he's going to get there, but he does have the talent to do that and much more.
I'm not sure anybody is touching 200 innings.
That's true. It's like 6 guys last year.
It doesn't happen anymore. No, it does not. But I feel like whatever the expectations are from McLean, they're really deserved, aren't they? Like, he deserves these sky-high expectations. And I know somebody will probably push back on it and be like, hey, it's 8 starts. He's a young guy. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I don't think so. Like, he deserves for us to talk to him in this way where we're saying, like, he should be a number 1, a number 2. And frankly, if he wasn't this type of guy, the Mets probably should have done more with their rotation. Yeah. I know they added Freddie Peralta, but they probably should have added somebody else if they didn't think that Nolan McLean was a number 2 type pitcher. So for me, it's deserved. He belongs in that conversation of whatever the top 15, 20 pitchers. Yes, McLean should be in there. And I expect him to be in that mix. I expect him to be a front runner for the Rookie of the Year, which he is still qualified for, and perhaps even more than that. I really think so. I'm so high on this guy because he's high on himself, and Harp, you know this from talking with him. He's one of the most confident pitchers at that age I can remember.
Yeah, I'm with you, Will. I mean, I think he's going to be under 3 ERA, and he threw 160 plus innings last year, so no reason he can't get to 170, 180, which is basically where everybody caps out now, even the best pitchers in baseball, because they want extra rest for these guys. But yeah, I mean, I was reminded of it. I got to sit up close when he threw his live BP last week when I was down there. His stuff is unbelievable. I mean, the spin is so hard and so late, and the fastball jumps out of his hand. That's it seems like a kind of a forgotten weapon for him. We saw it when he challenged Soto after the little rock, paper, scissors thing. I mean, the guy, he has a competitor. We're going to talk a little bit more about him, but I just think he has the composure, the competitiveness to be a guy above his age level or whatever you want to call it. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, and I think it was a good sign to see him look so good in his spring debut. Will, I know you spoke to him, you wrote an article about him. What makes him so unique?
Well, the word that I'd use is special, right? Like that's really what it is, because he has these 6 pitches, and I had the pleasure to sit down and talk with him about each one, where he broke them down. And not to go too basic here, but I will actually start with just a fastball, because that's one where we saw even today the velo was up higher than it has been in the past, higher than it was last year, and that's something that he was pretty intentional about, at least when he was talking to me, where he was breaking it down like, I want to miss barrels, I want to miss more bats. And to hear him talk about each of these pitches, that to me sort of assured that this guy knows what he's doing, and maybe that's the hitter in him talking, but it's the combination of, hey, the Mets doing a really good job of developing this guy, but also this guy's aptitude to learn pitching and to really master all 6 of those pitches. And I know we just flashed the usage rate on those. It wouldn't surprise me if that differed this year, considering how much he thinks about these pitches, where they're at, and how much work he puts in to perfecting each one of those.
Yeah, I love the way he broke them down for you. And he showed last year he had the ability to adjust in games when things weren't working. So that's part of it. But when I talk to him, it's more about his makeup, his composure, what everybody talks about, that fierce competitive edge. And everybody just says he's a little different, including his pitching coach. And I think some of it goes to his background as a football player. He was recruited a quarterback at Oklahoma State. He said he never saw himself playing in the NFL, always saw himself as a major leaguer. But he used football as a way to kind of get the scholarship and all that. And even the guys like Clay Holmes, talking to a veteran pitcher, said he carries himself like you would imagine a quarterback carrying himself around a football team, and not with the confidence or arrogance that puts guys off, even older guys. They just see it as a guy who he's himself. He's not trying to be somebody he's not. It's just natural. He's just got that natural thing, that it factor, whatever you want to call it, that not a lot of guys have.
He knows what he's doing. That's really what it is.
That's part of it too.
Yeah. I think that quarterback mentality gives him that confidence that you guys are talking about. So everyone's pretty high on this guy, but Anthony, Do you have any concerns about him this season?
Well, I mean, the one thing that jumps out to me, Nikki, he pitched 52 more innings last year than he had the year before. Harp's right; he made it to 160-something last year. But sometimes young pitchers, when they jump in innings like that, that can lead to trouble down the road, or be part of the reason they have trouble down the road physically. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm just saying that it is a potential watch thing this year. And to me, the idea, a couple of other Met pitchers have had a similar thing here. I mean, Clay Holmes was over 100 innings of jump there. Maybe the Mets should consider using a 6-man rotation coming out of the gate in spring training, because we keep talking about how are they going to get all these guys in the rotation? Well, they have 6 guys who are some of them are looking to sort of reclaim their careers and the way they've pitched in the past. And this may be a great opportunity to manage innings and get guys on the right track. I mean, Kodai Senga is probably better in a 6-man rotation. If you want to wring something out of this guy who was unpitchable at the end of last year, maybe this is a way to get him off on the right foot early in the season. It's something interesting. I'm not sure that they'll do it, but I think that they ought to.